As As you say, they have rejected that because for the last 19 months, Israel continues to be accused of preventing aid trucks from entering the Strip. I just want to ask you about a number of other things, including systematic human rights abuses that we've been seeing in Gaza. Sky News did an investigation about a number of paramedics who were killed and then buried in shallow land in Gaza alongside their vehicles. Israel's own internal investigation, despite repeat.
By the way, and I can't stress this enough, this story only became newsworthy because the Western there was a Western focus on this. Israel has done exactly this, deliberate assassinations of medical personnel hundreds of times throughout the last 19 months. Hundreds of times. The only reason why this became a matter of public opinion or shifted public opinion on Israel's conduct this time around is because they were found. The medical workers were found, right, buried alongside their ambulance in a shallow grave, and that Israel kept lying so deliberately, and then by pure happenstance, by pure luck, there was video evidence that directly contradicted their lie. That's it. This is not the only time. This is not the first time, and this won't be the last time. As a matter of fact, the conversation that's taking place right now from 6 hours ago with Sky News is quite literally about another instance where Israel bombed a hospital, claimed that that hospital had a Hamas terror base, and then, you know, forensic analysts looked at that and were like, that's not even the fucking same hospital that you're talking about. This is just the courtyard of a fucking school.
Claims that these were Hamas militants. It was discovered that these were, in fact, paramedics. Your response to that?
Well, first, I will be very happy to see when the next Sky report about human rights abuse of Hamas in Gaza. You know, every day they execute their own people, and they have been molested.
Like, this argument is so stupid, too, where it's like, only we get to execute Palestinians. Why does Hamas get to execute Palestinians? Only we do that. Only we are allowed to kill Palestinians, not Hamas. Like, is that the argument? Like, it's only bad when they do it? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, what the fuck kind of stupid shit is this? Like, even if I am to take what this fucking animal is saying seriously, okay? Even if he is being sincere, like, what's the argument? What is the fucking argument? Nobody talks about black on black crime. Black people are Hamas. Like, dude, you have wiped out entire fucking families, dude. You're defending wiping out entire fucking families. You're defending wiping out 15 healthcare workers that were very clearly targeted despite showing that they were healthcare workers. And your response to that is to just turn around and go, oh, well, Hamas also is killing people. Why is no one talking about Hamas? Like, this is indefensible. This is not a good argument at all. This is fucking idiotic. And what's strange about it is that this is an argument that Israel has applied since the Al-Ahli hospital strike. Remember when the Al-Ahli hospital was bombed and Israel was like, oh, we did not do this. We would never strike a hospital. Why are you saying this? Even though they had literally struck that hospital 2 days prior to the courtyard explosion. And then they said, it's actually Hamas. It's a misfired Hamas rocket that killed the Palestinians. And I said the same thing back then. I was like, what's the argument here that you've like, at that point, they'd killed like 4,000, 5,000 Palestinians so far. And what? The argument was that like, only we get to kill Palestinians. It's like, what the fuck? And by the way, of course, they lied about that too. They lied about that as well. They lied about the Al-Ahli strike as well, over and over again. And the media totally covered those lies as though they were sincere. Since then, they've struck every single hospital and continue to do so, including this last hospital strike that they applied the same immediate defense to. And tens of thousands of people were slaughtered in the process. Anne? No, but.
Ambassador Danon, I'm asking about Israel's responsibility
I will get to that, but
here.
we'd be very happy to.
I know, but you can. We can talk about Hamas, and we are conducting an interview with Hamas
today,
tomorrow, and we will hold Hamas accountable. But I want to ask about these paramedics. These 15 paramedics who were not Hamas militants, and we have continued to see the targeting of hospitals and the targeting of paramedics by Israel, who is supposed to be a responsible state actor. So comparing yourself to Hamas, who, as you say, operates as a terrorist organization, when you are supposed to be a democratic state, a responsible actor, you are not the same as Hamas, and you shouldn't compare yourself to Hamas. And I'm asking for your reaction and response to the killing of these 15 paramedics.
Well, I will answer that. I wasn't comparing Israel. I would just say it's about time that Sky News will do a report about what Hamas is doing to the people in Gaza. Now, regarding your question, I can tell you that we are doing our best to minimize civilian casualties. But when Hamas is hiding in hospitals, when Hamas is using those NGOs as human shields, that's unfortunate. And if we make a mistake, and sometimes we do make mistakes, we take responsibility for that. And we acknowledge that.
That's fucking also wrong. They don't. Nereye? Neye geldin? Okay. They don't even recognize their mistakes. First of all, it's not a mistake. It's deliberate targeting. Okay. There's also a deliberate cover-up after the intentional targeting, but a shitty cover-up because who the fuck's going to say anything? And also, I mean, it's always the same dumb, nonsensical way of defending this indefensible position. It's like, oh, well, Hamas was there. Oh, it wasn't us, it was Hamas. Okay, it came out that it was actually us and it wasn't Hamas. Well, then they deserved it because Hamas was using human shield. Okay, Hamas wasn't using human shield. Well, it was mistake and, it won't happen again. Oh, it happened again and it's happening again and again and again and again and again. Fucking bullshit. Also, the one living survivor that offered testimony was a 12-year-old boy. Israel killed him like a couple days ago. Fucking Nazis, man. Fuck Israel.
In this instance,
minimize casualties of people who are not involved with terrorist organizations, but let's acknowledge it. Only yesterday we heard a report about attack of Hamas leadership in Gaza. Why they were hiding in a hospital? Why they were hiding in a tunnel beneath the hospital?
And I want to get to that incident that took place yesterday. But with this particular incident with the paramedics, it wasn't until footage emerged. Israel continued to deny that these were innocent paramedics. You said that they were, in fact, Hamas militants. It wasn't until footage emerged that Israel then said it would conduct an internal investigation. And the findings of that investigation has not concluded that these were Hamas militants, even though the paramedics say they alerted the IDF of who they were. In terms of yesterday's attack, I just want to show you some footage that was released by the IDF. Israeli forces say that they were targeting, as you say, a Hamas command and control center buried underneath the European hospital. You can see what the IDF says are tunnels outlined there in red. And this is footage, Ambassador, that the IDF itself has put out. Now, Sky News has confirmed the footage actually shows the Isan al-Agha school, which is about 160 meters away. So this is the courtyard of a school and not, in fact, the command and control center of Hamas.
So, because you sent me that information, I checked it with our people on the ground. And what we found out that in this case, yes, you had infrastructure of tunnels beneath the hospital, But it wasn't only beneath the hospital. It was stretched to other areas in that region. And that's why, you know, it wasn't only under the hospital. But you should ask yourself, why under almost every hospital in Gaza, you have a command center of Hamas? You know, and that's the question we should ask ourselves.
Sir,
Like this is the response that they use. Again, another lie. Shocking. And they're so bad at this shit because their propaganda is often unquestioned by Western sources, Western mainstream sources, that they think they can get away with like lying this much. Okay. And it turns out it wasn't even the right fucking place that they bombed. Like they just used a totally separate, they used a totally separate area.
I just want to tell you what our experts have told us. Those tunnels that you're talking about, the dark shapes highlighted there on the screen, the markings were caused by water, not tunnels, because these are drainage systems. And so the dark shades that you're talking about, which Israel claims to be tunnels, are in fact caused by water because of a drainage system.
Well, I'm not familiar with your expert. Like,
this is what I mean, by the way. If they were doing this since October 7, because Israel has been lying in this exact same way since October 7, by this point, the overwhelming majority of Western news watchers would have been like, no, this is indefensible. They'd be begging for military intervention from a coalition of the willing. Okay. They would have shut off the money faucet. They would have shut off the weapons transfers a long ass fucking time ago. Okay. Can you imagine? And the example I will give you is this. Think about your perspective after October 7. I was offering this critical lens to the coverage. Think about how much your perspective has shifted in that time frame. Even those who were seemingly pro-Palestinian have learned the true endless well of depravity that is Israeli propaganda. Now imagine if Sky News was doing coverage this critical from the start. Imagine if CNN was doing coverage this critical from the start. Because for the first year or so, there was never this kind of critical examination, ever. Jake Tapper would just sit there and nod as an Israeli military official would say, this is why we have to kill the children, over and over and over again.